We don't have just a pastoral crisis. I am convinced from conversation after conversation with pastors and their leadership that we have a leadership crisis. Could it be that the way we have structured local church leadership, the way leaders relate to one another, the way we form a leader's job description, and the everyday lifestyle of the leadership community may be contributing factors to pastoral failure? Could it be that as we leaders are disciplining the pastor, dealing with the hurt he has left behind, and working toward restoration, we need to look inward and examine what his fall tells us about ourselves? Could it be that we are looking to the wrong models to understand how to lead? Could it be that as we have become enamored with corporate models of leadership, we have lost sight of deeper gospel insights and values? Could it be that we have forgotten that the call to lead Christ's church is not summarized by organizing, running, and funding a weekly catalog of religious gatherings and events? Could it be that many of our leadership communities don't actually function like communities? Could it be that many of our leaders don't really want to be led, and many in our leadership community don't value true biblical community? I knew when I wrote Dangerous Calling, which addresses the unique temptations that every pastor faces, I would need to write another book addressing the community of leaders that surrounds the pastor. I have needed the years since Dangerous Calling was published, with all of those sad and difficult phone conversations before undertaking it. I have needed to sit face to face with scores of pastoral newbies and veterans. I have needed many hours of examination and reflection. But I am excited to use my voice in the hope that it will ignite a conversation that I am convinced we need to have, but often are not having. This book is not a depressing critique. You can go to Twitter for that, the place that has revealed to us all that judgment is much more natural to us than grace. I want to propose a positive character model for local church or ministry leadership. There is so much written about a leader's gifting, about having the right people in the right seats, about leadership structures, and about how to make decisions and drive vision. All of these things are important, but they are not the most important thing. I want to turn your thinking toward the foundational character and lifestyle of a healthy church leadership community. My hope is that the result will be insight, confession, and community transformation. Jim called me because the secret, sordid life of his senior pastor was no longer a secret. Like so many situations, the computer was the tool that had exposed the secret. At first, Jim and his fellow leaders were in denial. They simply could not believe that this stuff was going on in the life of the man they had worked alongside and trusted for years. They thought maybe his computer had been hacked, but when they approached him, they changed their thinking, because he had a denier's answer for everything. Now they had to work through their disbelief as well as all the plausible explanations their pastor had given, and that, frankly, they wanted to believe. The more they dug, however, the more they were unable to deny the truth of what was uncovered, and the more they uncovered, the more they had to confess that there was an awful lot about this pastor that they did not know. They were like 10 people in a canoe built for 4, launched by raging rapids toward a waterfall ahead. To add to their out-of-control feeling, this crisis had shattered their unity. Perhaps it's more accurate to say that the crisis had exposed how thin and easily shatterable their unity was. The men who were most loyal to the pastor argued and debated with the men they thought were rushing to judgment. The organizational guys argued with the men who tended to be more pastoral. And in all of these debates, there was way too much judgment of the other's interests and motives. Meanwhile, a shocked and hurting congregation was not getting from their leaders what they needed. As I walked with these leaders through their distress and confusion, engaging them in conversation after conversation, it was clear that they were foundationally unprepared for what they were dealing with. It wasn't just that they were structurally unprepared. They were, more importantly, unprepared in terms of character and relationship. The fact that such basic things were missing complicated and obstructed their calling to lead their church through that very difficult moment. And in their unpreparedness, they spent as much time debating among themselves as they did dealing with the crisis and the man at the center of it. It's not just the little unknown churches that are unprepared.